Hello everyone, welcome to part 4 of The Light Was Yours, the visual audiobook. My name is Zoe Lola, poet and author of The Light Was Yours, and today we are going to be starting with my favorite section of the book, hate poems. As always, you can read ahead or read along with me by getting your own copy of The Light Was Yours, available on Amazon. Part 2, hate poems. They all knew how the game was played, but then he came along, insisted that it be his way, and that's where he went wrong. To touch her glass will cut you both, as deep as it is broad. To shatter a shushed and spoken oath is to cross the most obstinate God. To take it back he now cannot, though wish, I'm sure he may. If lies you spin and webs you're caught, the inevitable you delay. Walk to her throne with head bowed low, confess your every sin. She soon expires of mercy to show. Now take your losses on your chin. What a sculptor you were with how you manipulated me. Shaping, carving, etching, but the pain didn't bother me. I was only glad you were touching me and looking at me, and most of all, I couldn't wait until the day when you'd be ready to show me off. Why can't you see me for what I am? You all project something different to assuage your guilt. I wish I was as cunning as those sirens that half of you see in me. I admire them and all the other femme fatales who require atonement before the sin transgresses. But I am not cruel or venomous. I wish I was carefree, like the child the other half of you paints on my face. But that naivety is yours, not mine. I'm not your silly little girl, or your immature lover, or your classroom whore. You wouldn't know this, of course. You don't know me. If you don't want to see me, I won't make you. I will disappear. And this is the verse that you must heed, lest you confuse the flower's fury. The calm precedes the storm. In her freedom she found friends and fairies who favored her frankness and feelings. The honey precedes the trap. But the sun was jealous that she forgot him with such ease, even as he splayed his rays on her skin. So he called her back to the sky and proclaimed how he missed her there. The pride precedes the fall. She was charmed by his forthrightness, she pondered. Without me, he grows distraught, and excitement filled her as she imagined the lengths to which he would go to avoid losing her again. The rope precedes the knot. Whether jovial or pompous, she floated with sweet glee above the earth. An asteroid saw this and became enamored with her, watching as she stayed alone in the black sky while the sun went on with his rounds. And in that cover of darkness, the asteroid abandoned his orbit so that he might taste the girl. And his icy touch left her frozen. She wished for the sun's protection to return so that he might melt the frost from her bones. The whisper precedes the scream. And when she told the son of the asteroid, the sun was outraged, and he swore to bring down the whole sky. But this fever soon mellowed with the fears that wrestled inside of him. For despite his mass, the sun is empty of spines and brains. So when the asteroid reasoned that the flower was blinded by her adoration of the sun, that she would deceive all just to be seen by him, the sun agreed. Perhaps he was flattered. The light precedes the dark. Then the sun took a long journey across the heavens, returning with a gift for the flower, who still shivered with cold. And once more, she was grateful for the protection of the sun. But when she saw that the asteroid was not thrown from the sky, and that the sun kept him in his orbit, she was furious. And with her gift, she jumped from the clouds and the sun and his flower never spoke again. Everyone else forecasted it, but for me, it was a bolt in a blue sky. Didn't smell the rain before it came, though I could have guessed the devil would be his wife. All the back and forth made me think it was just clouds rolling by, and the sun would always warm my face after the coolness of the shade. But his warmth was just a ploy to lure me far into the sea, where my feet couldn't run and my saviors wouldn't come. There's no going back now, so I'll weather this storm. I'll beat against the current, and best believe I'll return. I made my paper records, just like our founding fathers. Your handwritten letter, unsent, still bound in leather. I read it like a postcard from that city underwater. They only see the remnants, so they think we're pretending. You can drown Atlantis, but I'm still bearing witness. The world might be unconscious, but you're wrong that I'll forget this. Oh no, I won't forget this. I miscarried the mirage I made of you. It had been growing inside me for months, and while it matured, I fell in love with the idea of loving you. So I nurtured it, kept the parasite alive with my entire being, waiting until the day it would be born into something more benevolent, less torturous. Anticipating the morning I would recognize its existence outside of myself. But one day, it began leaking out and was gone before I could say goodbye. You were my Monet painting, beautiful but muddled. I thought you distorted my vision to keep me looking but lost. And now I know that you're the one who's lost. You've manipulated yourself. She thought it would be easy. It was the pinnacle of naivety to think assault is an iniquity that might unite even her frenemies. That's not the way of this world. Online, outside, they hate the girls who refuse to keep their passions furled. Your silence for a string of pearls? Since they can't say what they want to say, they make up words to acquit their rage. Annoying, cringe, it's always vague and lazy, but it's the man's way. And we're tricked into his rules too, as if alliance is not a tried and true vow of nothing, and yet it still soothes the angst if it's the drug you choose. So with that, we're going to conclude this first section of hate poems. Next week we will continue. Like I said at the beginning of the video, if you would like me to analyze any of those poems, comment below. If not, I will pick one of my favorites. Thank you guys for listening and for reading, and I'll see you next week.